Ever since Vampire Survivors came out, I've seen many comments say it's created a new genre. I would say the game did an amazing job at standing out and also being really fun. And others have existed before Vampire Survivors, like Risk of Rain 2, Enter the Gungeon, The Binding of Isaac. In the end, Vampire Survivors is a roguelike. Now I really love Vampire Survivors for what it is, and a recently released roguelike game has caught my attention that I feel is worth bringing up. Brotato. In Brotato, you play as a potato wielding up to 6 weapons, fighting off hordes of aliens. There are a lot of characters to choose from and unlock. Each character has different stats and have their own personality. You play in this small arena where you have to fight off or avoid waves of enemies. Waves are time, and there's really no limit to the amount of enemies coming after you. Just survive until the timer hits 0. While you're killing off aliens, there are these green coins or slime to pick up. These serve as currency and XP for the game. After each wave you survive, and you also leveled up during that wave, you can increase a certain stat. After that, you can purchase items or weapons with coins you collected. You can only hold up to 6 weapons. You can recycle weapons to replace for another. Items though, it seems you can hold as many as you want. Now, unlike in Vampire Survivors, you're limited to how many items you can hold. Also, certain items go with one another. But in Brotato, you can choose which items and weapons you want, and you can combine whichever weapon or item to your liking. It's all completely up to you. The gameplay by default is a twin stick shooter, but I think you can modify the gameplay in the accessibility options, where the game isn't so simple. I like that they give you options. Now, during further waves, things can get tight. You can get trapped more easily, and a lot more enemies do spawn in. Now, there's a lot you can do in this game. You got melee weapons, guns, turrets, landmines, elemental shit, bots, medical bots, and a lot more. I feel like I'm only scratching the surface. I really do like how flexible this game is. Oh, and the game also has mod support, and it's also $5. Now, when comparing it to Vampire Survivors, it is more simpler and easier to understand. Also, the art style and animation stand out well. Really, the biggest difference to pick on in Brotato is that there's no map to explore, which is fine. Now look, I really like Vampire Survivors, and I also find myself really liking this game too. And both games are a bang for your buck. I would highly recommend Brotato, especially if you've played Vampire Survivors. I mean, I personally put a lot of hours into Vampire Survivors myself, and it's possible I might do the same here. Again, if you played Vampire Survivors or haven't yet played these types of games yet, I think Brotato is very well worth checking out.